In women's basketball right now, there is no bigger star, regardless of whether you're talking about college or the WNBA, than Caitlin Clark. She's dominating the ratings. She's dominating the headlines. A lot of people tuning in for the first time in some cases to watch women's college basketball just to see her play. 12.3 million. Iowa's victory over LSU is the most watched college or women's college basketball game on record. These are massive ratings. But there are some people that might not be too happy with all the attention Caitlin Clark is getting, and it's specifically because she's white. Now, it was only about a month ago where USA Today was very mad that the future of women's basketball was a white person instead of a black person. They wrote this disgusting article. But of course, if there's race scripting to be had, you know, one person who's not going to miss that opportunity, woke bitch Jemele Hill, because Jemele Hill is very upset too at the amount of coverage that Caitlin Clark is getting, because she says that it's not fair, that black women don't get the same attention that Caitlin Clark is getting. You know, interestingly enough, I think the vast majority of people feel like great players get a lot of attention. And right now, Caitlin Clark is the best player in the game. She is the one that's generating the clicks. She is the one that's generating the ratings. In the same way that in the NBA, typically the best players are the ones that people are talking about most of the time. Now, when people like LeBron James are winning MVPs, no one says anything, but heaven forbid a white dude like Nikola Jokic, heaven forbid that he ends up winning a couple MVPs in a row. Then you've got lunatics like Jemele Hill or Kendrick Perkins, whoever else, get very fucking triggered that white people are getting so much attention in basketball. It's just more of the same bullshit. Jemele Hill complains Caitlin Clark receives more coverage than black players. Hill participated in an interview with Uproxx over the weekend where she said while she appreciates Clark's contributions to the game, she thinks Clark receives more credit than she deserves for the growth of women's basketball. Everything about this sport has been trending up for years now. It did not just start with Caitlin Clark. It actually kind of did. She's going to say a couple things in this that we're going to look at ratings and we're going to look at whether what she says is actually the truth or not. Specifically, Hill blames the media for covering Clark more than double the rate it covers women of color. Hill cited Asia Wilson, a black woman who played for South Carolina. A study I cited recently for a piece I wrote in The Atlantic, when you compare, say, someone like Paige Buchers, Sabrina Ionescu, or Caitlin Clark to Asia Wilson, who's dominated basketball on every single level. She's probably the best player in the world right now. I'm not trying to act like she gets no coverage, but the coverage of that sometimes non-white women get, or specifically black women get, is not even close. It's 2-1. And of course, there will be extenuating circumstances, right? Because sometimes take a guy like Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard, obviously, very talented player when he can actually be on the fucking court. However, when it comes to his personality, he might not be somebody that there's going to be a ton to talk about other than just on the floor. He might not give you the quote you're looking for, the soundbite you're looking for to generate clicks. So there are other things that factor in terms of personality and how much people are interested. But right now, there's no denying people are searching for Caitlin Clark. Right? It's not like the media is just putting this out here in front of everybody. Look at her, right? Look at Caitlin Clark's searches compared to Asia Wilson. Nobody on Google, this is not a media thing. Nobody on Google is searching for Asia Wilson. There's a lot of fucking people searching for Caitlin Clark. That's just the reality. Maybe that's why people are paying more attention to her in the media as well. It feels like for black athletes to get the same amount of coverage or even fair coverage, there has to be something extra beyond basketball. Jemele Hill's point that Caitlin Clark is more of a star because she's white is not exactly a novel take. USA Today posted an article with a similar thesis last month, arguing women's basketball needs faces of the future to be black. What a fucking joke. And of course, after she said this, Jemele Hill got rightfully fucking destroyed, right? Rightfully fucking destroyed for all of this shit. She's playing victim just like she always does. But one of the things she does post here is the entirety of what she said. And basically, she's trying to say, oh, Caitlin Clark's good, but she's getting too much attention. Right? Of course she's doing good things, but if she were black, she probably wouldn't be getting this much attention by the media. And then she says we're giving Caitlin Clark too much credit for the type of ratings that we're seeing in basketball. That is just simply not backed up by anything substantial. This is what she says. Let's read some of this. Before she really began catching the eye of the national public, was gaining a tremendous amount of traction. Everything about the sport's been trending up for years now. It did not just start with Caitlin Clark, but they're trending like it did. And so it's creating a false narrative that's doing the public a disservice. If you look at WNBA ratings or women's college basketball ratings, they've been exploding for at least the last 7 to 10 years. Really? All right, let's look at this then. I happen to have women's Final Four ratings pulled right up here. Now, this goes back to 2021. That's where this fucking article has it. But we can certainly go back and see if things have just exploded in the past little bit. Let's go back to 10 years ago. What were we looking at 10 years ago? UConn Notre Dame championship, 4.2 million people watching. Okay, then it drops down to 3.8, 3.5, 3.6, and 4, right? It's not until we get to the past 2 years where we see massive fucking Final Four numbers. Look at what we saw for last year. Now comes the national semifinals Friday night on ESPN. They're talking about looking forward to the Final Four games now. Last year, Iowa's South Carolina tournament semifinal was watched by an average of 5.5 million viewers, the largest audience ever for a semifinal. Both semifinal games averaged 4.5, the most watched Final Four. The entire weekend, including the championship, garnered an average of 6.5 million viewers. That is exploding. And that's happened in the past 2 years since Caitlin Clark became a topic of conversation. Jemele Hill can play victim as much as she wants, right? She was forced to congratulate her basically after she dropped fucking 40 on LSU. But it's not surprising that you have so many people that are this upset because Caitlin Clark is good at basketball and she's white. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.